Good evening, everybody. It's good to be here once again. First thing I want to do is to thank my nominators, who this year happened to be my mother and my father, Stuart Phillips and Alice Phillips. I'm very proud and fortunate to have both my parents still with me, and to act as my mentors, give me some guidance, and also as respected elders in this community. It's good to have them always just a phone call or a visit away. Well, a little bit about myself. I know most people know who I am. I've been around this council for some time. I'm married to Wendy Walker for over 20 years. I have two daughters, Amanda Lee Phillips, and as well as Ashley and Gobby West Phillips, who's here with me this evening. I've been around for some time, as you may know. I've been involved in many different files, some minor or smaller files, helping individuals with their day-to-day problems. It's something that all council members have to do, and something that I enjoy doing, helping people on a one-to-one basis. But also, I enjoy tackling the major political files. There's many issues that are facing our community. Now, we can talk about many issues all night long, from jurisdictional issues to funding cutbacks, to use of the seaway, economic development. There's many issues. And I'm very comfortable jumping into just about any one of those files and doing my best to move the issues forward. We're at a very critical time in our community. It's been said over many elections over the years, well, this is a critical time and this is a critical time. And I may have even used that line in the past. But really, now, with a conservative government in place, with the policies they're developing, the direction they're moving, their lack of respect for Native rights, the lack of respect for half of their own citizens, for that matter, is clear. And it's time now, more than ever, for us to take very strong stances. It's time for council to re-strategize on many of the files we're working on, work with the community, and take some very strong and hard positions to move these issues forward. At the same time, we also have to remember, for every action, there's a reaction. In politics, it's a matter of balance. We have to look at what our political ideals are, what we hold dear to our hearts as Mohawks of Kahnawake. Listen to what people got to say in our community, but also think of what the reaction will be out there, and balance it all off and see what is right for our community to move forward. It's easy to say no, and bang the table, but when the door slams in your face and we have to deal with the consequences in our community, it's not always easy. So we have to be very strategic, plan carefully, and move forward together. I've been involved in many files in the past 3 years. We reestablished what we call our KCR, our Kahnawake-Canada relations, where we're trying once again to get Canada out of our business of making Indians, where they're still trying to tell us who is a Mohawk of Kahnawake and who is not, using their Indian Act, telling us who can own land and how to use that land based on their Indian Act. So we have to continue to move forward, have our own Kahnawake membership laws that is recognized by the outside so they can get out of our business, as well as our own land code so we can govern our land the way we want as Mohawks of Kahnawake. I work a lot with other First Nations. I work with the chiefs of Quebec as well as from across the country on finding ways of common ground where we could fight government together. Sometimes there's a lot of strengths in numbers. Share strategies, share opinions on many different issues. Because sometimes what's happening in BC, federal policies happen over there, are the same thing that's happening here. And working together is the best way to go at times. But as well, at the same time, you have to ensure that Kahnawak's authority, or the way we view things, is known and also respected. I've worked on a drug task force, which you may have heard of in the past while. It's been on the news. And let me just make some points really clear. I've been peacekeeper liaison for 3 years. I also held a position in the past. I was able to successfully negotiate an extra $500,000 over 2 years, and that will also help our community. But I work on a drug task force, which is still in process. It's not a completed project yet. But what the goal of this is to get the resources needed to have our own investigative unit, to where we can have investigators, specialized training, so we can really have a concrete and combat drugs in our community, combat the drug and drug dealers in our community. I actually had a couple of people campaigning against me because I took a very strong stance on this. Well, I ask you, the people, if you support combating drugs in our community, I ask you to support me as well. because this is not about going after cigarettes. It's not about the outside. This is about protecting Kahnawake jurisdiction, protecting our future generations. With that, thank you. Good night.